Hi everyone. If you've been watching the news and have been triggered by recent reports and allegations of attitudes towards women, please watch this vlog. I've been tuning into the universe for guidance and I have written notes and I'm going to read those. It's difficult to be spiritual, intuitive, tolerant and compassionate on this earthly planet. And it's hard to remain peaceful and grounded in our own personal daily life. And that peacefulness and grounding are harder to maintain when we take in facets of other people's lives, especially as women, when we take in what is happening in other women's lives. So how do we stay grounded, peaceful and spiritual when we feel angry? Before we can answer that question, we need to explore what is happening within. In spiritual terms, a trigger is learning of a situation or event that reminds you of a similar situation or event that you have experienced. All the emotions you previously felt become present again. As a result, you feel you are living through the whole experience again. If what you have read or seen in the news has brought up emotions and feelings of an experience you've had, having the heart, body and soul awareness that you are not actually experiencing the situation again, but that you are experiencing a replay of the emotions, is one step in your spiritual healing. If you have not experienced a similar situation or event, but you've had the experiences of not being heard by men in your life, whether personally or in your career, men have talked over you, taken your ideas as theirs, not taken you seriously, and that's made you feel unworthy, and you feel angry about that situation, it's okay. There is no need to blame or judge yourself that your situation was not as serious. Comparison of experience in these circumstances is divisive and prevents women from supporting one another, which would suit a patriarchal society. Replace blame, shame and judgment with compassion for yourself and compassion for all women. Know that we each have a story. Here is a personal experience. I know that one of my main triggers is stories of women not being heard or their voices and words being taken away from them. Whenever such a major event occurs in the world, I lose my voice. Sometimes my voice is croaky, which happened to me last week. It's a little bit croaky now. Other times my voice goes completely. One of the most recent times I lost my voice was prior to the Roe versus Wade judgment about abortion in the USA. When my voice is not full, I am not ill and I have no sore throat. So it took me a few years to make this connection. I'm sharing this personal experience in case it helps you better understand how triggers may physically manifest for you. Triggers quite often start in the mind with conscious judgment or processing. It then may then move to the heart as the spiritual heart feels the emotions created in the mind. Then it could move to the physical body, as I've just shared. When it gets to the soul, that is when we're closer to spiritually processing and healing what has happened. Triggers impact the coherence of the heart, body, mind and soul, that beautiful time of alignment which creates empowerment. Triggers may bring conflict, mainly anger and fear, to our coherence. Keeping those triggers within is spiritually unhealthy. So what can be done? In modern culture, anger is frowned upon as a negative emotion that we must avoid. Add to that the ancestral history and patriarchal patterns that women should never show their anger, and that angry women are not to be taken seriously because in history, women were branded as hysterical. Yet it is understood that keeping emotions within is not only spiritually unhealthy, it can create psychological illness and physical illness, as well as creating conflicts in our coherence. So as spiritual people, what do? We still have to let the anger out, but before we do, let's reframe this particular anger to soulful rage. Soulful rage is not the anger that happens when someone pushes in front of you in a queue, or the angry annoyance of a bad driver that nearly caused you to crash. It is an anger from within your soul because you have either experienced or become aware of situations that violate your values or your rights, your human rights, as we would say on this earthly planet. There is a myth that intuitive, spiritual, and empathic people do not feel rage. You may feel this should be true for you. The earthly truth is that we're also humans experiencing human emotions. The universe wants you to know you are never on your own. There is a collective of like-hearted people feeling the same soulful rage. But back to you, what can you do? Coming back to your spiritual self always starts with quiet time in a safe and comfortable space to feel peace, with steady and naturally paced breathing. You can ask your inner self, what words describe the feelings I'm experiencing? Am I ready to let go of these feelings? Do I need help to move through these feelings? Some people may be able to meditate or surrender these feelings to the universe in order to move through them. Some people may benefit from help to do this. If that is you, please ask and please seek the support that is right for you. Depending on your preference, you may wish to consult someone like me, an intuitive mentor or healer, or a spiritual or holistic healer. Or a traditional approach may feel more comfortable for you, and for psychological illness you may wish to start with your GP to find a counsellor or a therapist. Trust your intuition as to what is the best healing method for you, and note it may be more than one method. These are just a few options on how you can support your personal healing, but maybe you still feel soulful rage on behalf of the collective. Maybe you are ready to find your voice and be a sacred activist. It is okay to be spiritual, intuitive, empathic, and still feel soulful rage at the issues that are going on in the world. The universe wants you to know that if you are finding your voice and ready to be more involved in creating change in the world, protesting is not the answer. That is not the spiritual way. The spiritual way is sacred activism. The spiritual way is campaigning for change. Signing a petition for what you want to see in the world is sacred activism. When you campaign for change and participate in sacred activism, you maintain your spirituality and become part of the collective campaigning to create change. You may never know any or the whole of this collective. Any collective is globally spread, but the importance of knowing of the concept of the collective is to know that your voice is joining many others. It is the frequencies from individuals that combine to this collective to create a collective frequency that creates a vibrational frequency for a new energy to create change. Sacred activism stands out and stands apart because at its heart it is creating change for the good of all, campaigning for the planet, for social care and the vulnerable. Black Lives Matter and women's rights are all campaigns and examples of sacred activism. Be discerning about what you do. Remember, protesting is not sacred activism. There's a well-known quote attributed to Mother Teresa that says she said she would never attend an anti-war rally, but she would attend a peace rally. It is a subtle but spiritually profound difference. Sacred activism is about campaigning for what you want, not protesting for what you do not like. Sacred activism is not about self-interest, but about the good of the collective. Not everyone can be a sacred activist, and that's okay. Knowing in your heart, body and soul what the changes that you want to see in the world is just as good. It supports the vibrational frequency of the collective and contributes to the energy that is needed to create change. Thank you for watching, and whatever you are experiencing at this time, I send you my best wishes. Take care.